Good morning, everyone. We are already in the month of February. It's hard to believe that we're already into the second month of the year 2022. I hope you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Today, we are observing the February Shotsuki Hoyo, or memorial service for the Watsonville Buddhist Temple. Also today is Nirvana Day. And for those who are not aware, Nirvana Day is the day in which Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, passed away. And I'll be talking about that a little bit more later. Also, we're observing our annual pet memorial service. And this is an important service for us who have had pets, lost pets, and we know how much they mean to us in our families, and we honor them with today's Nirvana Day service. And there's a deep connection there with the passing of the Buddha and our pets that we love so much. And I'll be talking about that as well. I'll begin with an opening reading. If you'll please put your hands together in Gassho. My disciples, my last moment has come. But do not forget that death is only the end of the physical body. The body was born from parents and was nourished by food, just as inevitable are sickness and death. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandavs, 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 Namandavs. Now I'd like to begin the sutra chanting of the Sambujo, followed by the dedication reading, the Sambutsuge and the Jusege. And during that time, we will be scrolling the names of the families observing memorial in the month of February. Namandavas, 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 Namandavas. Today, on this occasion of the Watsonville Buddhist Temple February Shotsuki Hoyo Memorial Service, combined with Nirvana Day service and the Pet Memorial, the members of the Sangha have reverently come before Amida Buddha with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. We reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namu Kia Boots, Namu Kia Ho, Namu Kia Soul, Nam Mandavas, Nam Mandavas, Nam Mandavas. Satsa Maria Jingya Ongen Gi Yijin Kunya Se Enmyo Myo Tosha Nichigatsumani Shuko Enyo Kaishitsu Onpe Yunyaku Jimoku Nyorai Yogen Jose Murin Shogaku Naion Moru Jipo Kaimon Shojin Sanmai Chie Itoku Muryo Shushoke Ujin Daizen Shobutsu Hokai Gujin Jinno Kugo Ngai Tai Mumyo Yokunu Seson Yomunin no Shishi Jintoku Muryo Kukun Godai Jie Jinyo Komyo Iso Shindo Nai Senganga Sabutsu Zaisho Onga no Shoji Mipuge Datsu Puse Joi Kainin Shojin Yoze Sanmai Jie Ijong Ose Tokubutsu Pugyo Shigan Isai Kuku Isanayan Keshi Ubutsu Yaku Sen no Kuman Muryo Naisha Shunyong Goja Kuyo Isai Shito Shobutsu Bunyoku no Kensho Bugyoku Inyo Goja Shobu Sekai Mubu Kage Mushu Setsudo Komyo Shisho Henshi Shokoku Nyoze Shojin Ijin Nandyo Nyonga Sabutsu Goku no Nai Ich Koshu Kimyo Dojo Chozetsu Goku Nyo Naion Nimu Toso Gato Aimen Dodatsu Isai Jippo Raisho Shinnetsu Shoujo Ito Ga Koku Keraku Annon Kobu Shinyo Zega Shinsho Motsugan no Hiriki Shoshoyo Jeppo Seson Chie Muge Joryo Shison Chiga Shingyo Keryo Shinshi Shoku Nokuchu Magyo Shojin Ninju Agon Josengon Ishimujono Shigan Manzok Sebujo Shongak Maom Uryogo Inai Seshu Sai Shobing 세부조 쇼각 나시조 부츠노 녀셔 저제보 극여미셔몬 세부조 쇼각 니역진쇼넨 여외 슈왕역 지금 어저너 이쇼텐년시 진리기엔다이코 어셔무사이노 쇼조상금요 고사이슈야크난 아이치에겐 메시건너안 에서크쇼와크도 스다츠젠슈몬 고소조만족 이여러제보 니치가츠슈주기 텐고옴부겐 이슈카이호소 오세크도크호 요오나이슈추 세포시시크 그여이사이붓 그소크슈도크혼 간내시츠저만 도크이상가요 여부츠무게지 스나츠미 부쇼 랑가크에릭 도시사이쇼선 싱안야코카 나이센온칸도 도크쇼텐닌 도우친요케 어먼다부 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 나만다부 나만다부 아니싱은노 Namandov, 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 Snamandov, 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 Snamandov. Now I'd like to ask you to please join me in the Gatha Namo Amida Butsu. When life is fair and once pain and death draw nigh, our tears may flow, yet trustingly we cry, Namo Ami Namu Tzu. The threefold refuge. Difficult is it to receive a human form, now we're living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, then what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together with all sentient beings, become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teachings. Sankyamon, Ninjin ukegatashi ima sudani uku, Buppo kikigatashi ima sudani kiku, Kono mikonjo ni mukate dose zumba, Sarani izure no sho ni mukate ka kono mi wo dosen. Daishu moro tomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tatematsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawaku wa shijo to tomo ni daido wo taige shite mujo yoko san. Mizukara ho ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawaku wa shijo to tomo ni fukaku kyozo ni irite chie umi no gotoku nran. Mizukara so ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawaku wa shijo to tomo ni daishu wo tori shite issai muge naran. Mujo jinjin mimyo no ho wa yaku sen mango ni mo ayo koto katashi. Orima kenmon shi juji suru koto e tari. Negawaku wa nirai no shinjitsu gi ogeshi tatematsuran. Nammandavas, 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 nammandavas. I'd like to share my screen again. And I want to share with you a picture of Mika. Okay. Today has been designated as Nirvana Day here in Watsonville. This is the day the historical Buddha Shakyamuni died. It was February 15th. And last few years, I've been doing a pet memorial service and asking people to send pictures of their pets as part of this Nirvana Day service. And the reason why I include it in the Nirvana Day service is because there's a story or a legend, if you will, of the Buddha Shakyamuni and his last day of life here on earth. And I opened today's service with a quote that says that do not forget that death is only the end of the physical body. The body was born from parents, nourished by food, just as inevitable are sickness and death. So the Buddha was explaining to his disciples that the physical body disappears, but the influences and the memories continue on. And this goes along with all of our human connections, but also our connections with the world around us, including our pets. And the legend is that on the day that the Buddha died, several animals came forward and to pay their respects to the Buddha as he lay dying. And they, of course, mourned the death of the Buddha as everyone else was. But the Buddha had a special place in his heart for animals, for pets. And the legend is that 12 animals that came to pay the respects became the 12 signs of the zodiac that we know today in the Lunar New Year calendar. This is the year of the tiger this year. But the animals that came were varied, including dogs and other pets and animals that came to pay their respects. And we can learn a lot from our pets, right? Our pets teach us, you know, I remember our dogs and when I was much younger, cats, especially, you know, coming home and being greeted by our pets. They share with us an unconditional love. And this is something that we can learn from our pets. So as time goes by, you know, we still remember our pets and we memorialize them with our service today. So this is one of the three great events of the Buddha's life. Of course, his birth, his enlightenment, and then his passing in February, on February 15th. And in different traditions, it's celebrated in different ways. Some follow the lunar calendar. In May, they will have a celebration of his birth, his enlightenment, and then his death, all in one service or one gathering. And they follow the footsteps of Shakyamuni Buddha. So naturally, his life is of utmost importance. In our tradition, what we call the Mahayana tradition, the Dharma, what the historical Buddha taught or what he awoke to is held foremost. So the awakening of our pets and ourselves, you and I, is through the Dharma. And it is the foremost, the most important thing that we emphasize. So today, there's a reason for this that I want to talk about. The biggest mistake that we all make is that we think that we must all, emulate the historical Buddha to be like him. You know, we create special days to practice. We have, you know, social welfare day, we have Dana day, we have holidays like this. It's a day when we can, quote, act like a Buddha. We can give, we can donate, we can do things so we can act like a Buddha. A Buddha is compassionate. A Buddha is charitable. This is true. So we try to be Buddha-like and we imitate one by doing different things. And this is great, this is fine. However, I don't want us to forget the teachings. That is most important. We are not a Buddha. I am not a Buddha. So we create special days so that we can imitate one. For the mere fact that we must have a special day shows us that we are not compassionate, we are not charitable. Now, perhaps we are on certain days, but we are not consistently compassionate or charitable. Sometimes we even further fool ourselves by thinking, just because of this one day, I am a kind person, I am a good person. And we tend to forget that the goal of Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching is to become a Buddha, for you and I to become a Buddha. So it's through listening to his teachings, what we call the Dharma, we too can become a Buddha. Not to act like one, but to become one. So Shakyamuni Buddha, on his deathbed, this was the advice of Shakyamuni to his disciples. He told them, let the Dharma be your light. Let the Dharma be your light. Another mistaken view is that, psychological relief or peace of mind is the purpose of Buddhism. And these are actually desirable and good outcomes or byproducts of any religious life. But it's not the goal for you and I as Buddhists. The truth of the Dharma does not depend upon fluctuating personal likes or dislikes. Again, to become a Buddha is foremost. To become a Buddha. I want to emphasize that. Our pets have become Buddhas because they already have peace of mind. The word become would indicate a change, a transformation. We see this all the time especially in children shows where, for example, Beauty and the Beast comes to mind, a great Disney cartoon. And in the beginning, the Beast is grumpy, horrible, mean, scary. And later, we find out that this beast becomes really kind and compassionate, a really nice person. So what happened? He went through a transformation. He became a better person. So another example, just to kind of end with, is if we think about the things that we toss aside in our life, things we collect and toss aside. If we take, for example, scraps of metal, 10 pounds of metal, how much is that worth? How much is it worth? If we might say it's really worthless because it's just scrap metal. Maybe you can get $5, $10, $20 for it. But if that scrap metal then transforms and becomes nails, for example, or springs, its value increases. That $10 becomes $50, $100, $200. The scrap metal becomes something else. It transforms. The transformation takes place. So this applies to you and I also. We must listen to the Buddha's teachings. If we listen, the teachings will take effect, and we will be on the path to becoming a Buddha. And so that is why on Nirvana Day, it is time for us to realize our potential of becoming a Buddha. Also, as we listen to the Dharma, we become more aware of ourselves and the type of people we are. All of the shortcomings, all of the great qualities, the whole person. And we begin to see the potential for becoming a Buddha. So on Nirvana Day, this is a day when we remember the Buddha because he died. But more importantly, we remember the Buddha for what he left us. He left us this Dharma, this wonderful teaching. I often talk to families about, their parents who took them to temple, raised them going to Sunday services every week. And why did they do that? Because they wanted you and I to have these tools. They wanted you and I to have the Dharma in our lives so that we can become a Buddha. Not act like one, but to become one. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to share with you the Renyo Shonin's Gobun Sho. Shonin Nichiryu no go kanke no onomuki wa shinjin no motte honto serare soro sono yue wa moro moro no zogyo nageshite isshin ni midakimi sureba fugashigi no ganriki to shite bun no kata yori ojo wa jijo sashime tamo sono kurai yo chinen poki nyu shoujo shiju tomo shaku shi sono ue no shomyo nen buta nirai waga ojo wo sadame tamai shi gonho jin no nen buto kokoro beki nari hanakashiko Hanakashiko Namandabas Namandabas. And now the English translation of Shonin Ichidu, or chapter on the teachings of Shinran Shonin. Shinran Shonin taught that the essence of Jodo Shinshu is Shinjin. The reason is that by abandoning all of the practices and completely entrusting ourselves in Amida Buddha, our spiritual rebirth is assured by Amida through the inconceivable power of the primal vow. This is known as entering the ranks of the truly assured at the very moment of Shinjin. Thereafter, all utterances of the Nembutsu should be understood only as expressions of gratitude for Amida's assurance of our spiritual rebirth. With reverence, I remain. Namandavas, 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 Namandavas. Thank you. Before we close, I'd like to make just a couple of announcements. This Wednesday, February 9th, we'll begin our online class, Introduction to Buddhism. And if you've taken this class before, I can assure you that there's still much to learn. And if you take the class again, you'll be reminded of some things, but also you'll learn some new things. So I encourage you to sign up with the temple on our Introduction to Buddhism class. Starts Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and will run for 8 weeks long. Next week, Monterey Buddhist Temple will observe their Shotsuki Hoyo and also Nirvana Day. And now, if you'll join me in the Gatha Ondok-san 2. Yonai dahi no ondoku wa iyoko ni shite mo ozubeshi shishu chishiki no The true Buddha is not a human body. It is enlightenment. A human body must die, but the wisdom of enlightenment will exist forever in the truth of the Dharma and in the practice of the Dharma. He who sees merely my body does not truly see me. Only those who accept my teachings truly see me. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandavas, Namandavas, Namandavas. Thank you very much, everyone. This will conclude our services today, and I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for celebrating Nirvana Day with us, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Thank you. Namandavas, Namandavas.